Good evening. The Lawrence Alliance for Education Board meeting for June 12th will now come to order. The time is 6:02. Maria, would you please take attendance?
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Present.
Edgar de Leon,
Present.
Arlene Garcia,
Present.
Juana Matias,
Present.
Maria Muller, she's out.
Absent.
Mayor Brian de Peña is out. Chair Patricia Mariano.
Present. Could we all please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin with public participation. The board welcomes public comment at this time. We will call people in the order they signed up. Each person is permitted to speak for no more than 2 minutes. A bell will ring when you have 30 seconds remaining and again at the end of the 2 minutes. I ask that you please respect this limit. Profanity will not be tolerated. If used, we will turn off the microphone and the person will be asked to leave the meeting. I'd like to remind everyone that during public comment, the board is in listening mode, and as such, board members do not respond to comments. Written public comments may be sent by email to info@lawrenceallianceforeducation.org no later than 2 o'clock the afternoon of the meeting. Our first speaker is Mr. Marley.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. We, the citizen, welcome the new superintendent, Honorable Ralph Guerrero. We are united to become the best partner in creation of the best public education for our children. We are proud to support Lawrence Teachers Union. Great Nelson Mandela said, education indeed the most powerful weapon to change the world. This change only possible if we support our teachers union. Lawrence teachers, you are number one. You are the most important reason for success of Lawrence Public School. The great genius Horace Mann said, the founder of the public education in the nation, that education indeed the most powerful social equalizer. This objective only possible if we support our teachers union. Future of this great nation, future of our city depend on how well we support our teachers union. We must know building multi-million-dollar school does not make Lawrence Public School great. Lawrence Public School is great because of our awesome teachers, our hard-working paraprofessional and employees. These are the true superstars, makes our public school great. Lawrence always strong. Lawrence always unite. Lawrence teacher, thank you for outstanding academic year. We wish you the best summer vacation for all Lawrence teachers and Lawrence Public School. Thank you for gift of the best education. Lawrence Public School employees and Lawrence teachers, thank you for successful year.
Thank you, Mr. Marley. I will continue with the chair's report. This evening, I would like to report on the superintendent's evaluation, final evaluation. This time, the final evaluation is a compilation of the individual evaluations received from the board. Section 1 asks us to rate the superintendent's performance goals for this year. Superintendent Rodriguez received exceeding for maintaining effective lines of communication with stakeholders, LAE, city officials, and school committee. Also scoring in the exceeded range was his ability to deepen and expand the ways the district engages with families and students. Scoring in the MET category was creating a vision for instruction that drives student achievement and deepening efforts to recruit and retain culturally responsive, and highly effective teaching and professional staff. The evaluation is further broken down into 4 standards. Standard 1 is instructional leadership. For this standard, the superintendent scored proficient, with evaluators' comments highlighting his commitment to high-level instructional materials and the time and resources for faculty to receive the PD necessary to implement the curriculum well. Mid-year and end-of-year data points to significant growth by the students. Standard 2 is management and operations. For this standard, the superintendent scored proficient, with comments highlighting budget goals which reflect district priorities, the advanced planning for the end of ESSER funding, and how the district would support current staffing and the continuity of programs. In allocating funding, the superintendent has placed a strong emphasis on supporting the social and emotional well-being of students. The increase of school-based behavioral specialists, counselors, and psychologists will support the schools in this critical area. Standard 3 is family and community engagement. For this standard, the superintendent scored exemplary, with comments highlighting his strong commitment to families and the community. He attends all school and community events, as well as meetings held by elected officials. At every LAE meeting, the superintendent consistently provides the board with district updates focusing on teaching and learning, operational developments, and on school and district activities. His deliberate intent to foster a transparent and welcoming district has resulted in stronger family and community partnerships. Standard 4 is professional culture. For this standard, the superintendent scored proficient, with comments highlighting his strong commitment to the cultural proficiency of all staff. These are a few of the steps taken to meet this goal. Recently hired an executive director for human capital and the director of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging to guide the district work. Created was the district's first dual language program and provided opportunities for parents and staff to earn degrees locally to ultimately become paras and teachers. The last step in this evaluation is the superintendent's overall performance. He has scored proficient. Next, we were asked to rate the impact of his overall performance as it relates to student learning. In this area, Superintendent Rodriguez received a score of high. The final section is an opportunity for the evaluators to add comments. Superintendent Rodriguez is a transformational leader who knows how to encourage, inspire, and motivate teachers to perform in ways that can shape the academic success of Lawrence Public School students. He has implemented district systems that allow all students to succeed. Superintendent Rodriguez has given his heart, time, belief, and dedication to making a difference for Lawrence. He has modeled a professionalism that has led teachers, students, staff, families, and community members to trust him. Thank you, Superintendent Rodriguez, for your 20 years of dedication and loyalty to LPS. Your significant impact on students, staff, families, and communities will be felt for many years to come. I'm now going to open this evaluation for discussion by the board. Juana?
Just ditto, Madam Chair, to your comments. I want to thank Superintendent Rodriguez for his dedication, time, grace, commitment, love, devotion to this district over the last year, coming in and stepping up and rising to the occasion. We really thank you for your open dialogue and communication with this board, and always forthright and willingness to collaborate on behalf of our students. We're wishing you the very best. I know that we may be keeping you for a couple more weeks, but just truly from my behalf, know that I'm profoundly grateful for all you did.
Thank you. Any other comments? Dolores?
Yes, I want to say thank you also, gracias. You have the ability to make people feel comfortable. You're not somebody who thinks that they're a big thing. You know, you are someone who is approachable. And even sometimes when we ask you, some challenging questions, you are always willing to say, we're looking into that, or we will look into that. And I think that shows that the value that you have as a leader, as someone who believes that Lawrence, our students, teachers, staff, and us, all of us in the community, is valued by you, and you showing it, with your leadership, your staff, that this is important for you. And it doesn't matter if you are in a short time, you want to do the good job. So I want to thank you personally. Gracias.
Thank you, Dolores. Anyone else? Arlene?
Yes. I'm very, I like someone who is not afraid of getting dirty. And certainly from your demonstrations when you would show here, your collaboration, as well as, being in functions, whether it was cold outside with the kids or with the parents, you get down in the trenches and you were right up there with them. So I wish you the very, very best, and thank you for all that you have done.
Mayor?
Yes, Superintendent, I want to say thank you on the night to the community. You doing not only a great job, it's impossible, everything doing perfect, but the job you make is excellent, excellent, over excellent. Never I forgot your dedication. I know when my daughter and my son stay in Lawrence High School, you're the same person. And I see your capacity for connect to the students, parents, teacher, administration, include my staff in my office, are very professional, and I'm excited. I pass great moments in different issues about the education or any decision I need to take. I forgot you respect my opinion, and you dedicated the better time in your life for the education. And I want to say thank you. Yo quiero de manera personal decir que el trabajo que usted ha hecho, humanamente nada se puede decir que es perfecto, pero cuando le podemos dar una calificación al trabajo suyo, yo creo que es más que excelente, es más que lo que humanamente se le puede pedir a una persona. Me gusta la conexión que usted tiene con los padres, con los estudiantes. Me emociona ver cómo los muchachos lo conocen, cómo usted lo llama cada uno por su nombre y cómo ellos se integran como al ritmo suyo. Y es algo que creo que Dios le dio a usted, esa capacidad de conectar con todo a su alrededor, y espero que sea un ejemplo para otros que puedan venir, para los que están, y para mí sencillamente haber trabajado con usted y seguir trabajando con usted sería y fue de verdad que algo emocionante, algo que me va a marcar a mí y es algo que yo creo que indica una pauta nueva en cómo se administra con igualdad, con respeto a los demás, a las opiniones de los demás, y en cada decisión hacerla de manera que todos nos podíamos sentir muy cómodos con usted. Espero que usted siga hasta que Dios le dé fuerza trabajando para nuestros muchachos, porque el material humano que usted tiene, la capacidad también de trabajar con nuestros muchachos, yo creo que es un ejemplo a seguir, y le doy las gracias, incluyendo de manera personal, por el servicio que le prestó a mis hijos que se graduaron de esta escuela. Muchísimas gracias, superintendente. Muy orgulloso de usted.
Thank you, Mayor. Edgar, would you like to add something?
I was going to echo what everyone says. I had the pleasure of knowing Juan for many, many years, and I know how uncomfortable he must feel to just sit there and receive your flowers. But one, the circumstances needed you, and what you did for our city was incredible. But this is not just about the evaluation. This is about what you've done for years and years and years for our city and for our kids. So just thank you for being who you are and your leadership, and just your work throughout the years here in Lawrence. So thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. And from my perspective as board chair, I'd like to go back to the years when you came to the Arlington School and we met, and we collaborated together and did many things, you being a new principal of the district, and it was a pleasure then. And it has been an awesome pleasure for me to work with you this past year. If anything, I learned from you that perseverance and working hard, our kids can succeed, and you proved that to us. And with unprecedented increases in scores. For that alone, on behalf of the kids, I sincerely thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I'd just like to say as well, and thank you for all those kind comments, but I think kind of like echoing what Dolores said, the students and the community is the big deal, right? They're the ones who are the big deal, right? The teachers are the big deal, the parents are the big deal. Those are the folks, like Mr. Molly said earlier, right? Those are the folks who are serving our kids every day, doing a great job, sometimes challenging circumstances. So it's been a terrific last 18 months. It's been great to work with the board, like all of you, who, are asking sensible questions, working together, having good meetings. So on my part, it's been terrific to be able to work with folks like all of you. Some of you who I've known, like Edgar said, or as the mayor, or Pat said, we've known each other for years. Pat was one of the folks who welcomed me so warmly to the district many, many years ago. I had the pleasure of working with Edgar at the campus and talking curriculum and instruction, 10, 12 years ago, working with the mayor on many levels, as he said, as a parent for his kids in school, and then collaborating on issues when folks bring concerns, because they are concerns that we need to keep working on. And that's the way to improve, to recognize where the areas of concern are and work on them. Like the mayor said, you can't be perfect in results or outcomes, but you can be perfect in your effort, right? You can always give effort. That's the one thing you can always do. And, so on my part, I've really appreciated working with this board and the folks at DESE who have assisted us as well. Folks from the mayor's office, of course, the police chief and the police department and the fire chief and the fire department, the folks at DPW who help us with countless events as well. So all those things, I think, have been very, very positive for me and have greatly assisted the school department over the last 18 months. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I appreciate all the support from the community, from you board members, from the city council, from our members of the school committee, our elected officials from the state delegation who are omnipresent as well. So it's really been a wonderful experience for me personally. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the final evaluation for Superintendent Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, so moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Doris Galaft,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias.
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, motion carries. I'll now turn I'm sorry, one more item. I'd like to give you a brief update on the contract negotiations with Mr. Carrero. On Monday, the board selected Juana Matias to work with Attorney John Steffen in contract negotiations with Mr. Carrero, with the understanding that any contract will be presented to the LAE board for its approval before it is executed. So that's just a point of information for everyone. And at this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to the superintendent for his report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just have a few items tonight. We have, a few extra slides as, we haven't been able to present as much lately. Our last meeting was mostly focused on the budget. So we do have a few extra slides. We're going to go through just some end-of-year updates, some spring updates, and mostly joy, a few things personnel related and other such announcements, but mostly good things happening at the end of the year. So just our cover slide, just our students from ALA, Upper School, Unidos, HLC, who went out, took their class of 2024 pictures a few weeks ago. A lot of happy faces there. Next slide for us, Dave. We do have some district leadership updates. Again, these appointments have been made over the last several months, and we want to keep everybody updated. We made an appointment for the principal of the Oliver Elementary School, Angeli Alba Burgos, and she's currently an assistant principal at the School for Exceptional Studies, and she's going to be the principal of the Oliver Elementary School. She is well known in the community. She graduated from Lawrence High School. She attended the Frost and the Oliver School when she was a student, and she has been working for the district for multiple years in multiple roles. We're very excited for her. We know she's going to do a wonderful job. To take over as our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Jennifer Perry, who is currently Director of Teaching and Learning in the Barnstable Public Schools, is going to be joining us on July 1st in that role to keep pushing forward on the teaching and learning and making sure our kids are learning what they're supposed to and our teachers are getting the PD that they need to keep doing an excellent job. In the areas of assessment and accountability, a familiar face, Dr. Lynn Katerius, is going to be our Supervisor of Assessment and Accountability for 24-25. She is currently the Director of Student Services and Special Education in the Amesbury Public Schools. So for us, it's terrific to be able to appoint someone internally and also have folks from outside the community who are interested in working here in LPS to do the hard work moving forward. So we're excited for those appointments. We do have a couple of vacancies. Our Deputy Superintendent position is vacant and posted. Our Chief Financial Officer, Ariel Perez, has done a terrific job for us, is also moving on. That position is also posted. And Mr. Carrero will be filling those positions in early July, I believe. So those positions will be open so that he can make those appointments for those final two leadership positions for the district. Next slide, Dave. And speaking of staffing, we did add 126 new positions for this year on top of any folks that do leave us over the summer. So we are busy trying to fill our staffing positions. We did conduct 2 in-person hiring fairs in mid-May, one at Lawrence High School and the other one right here. The one at Lawrence High School was for secondary positions, and pre-K through 8th grade was held here. All of our current postings are up on the district website, so if you do know anybody who is interested in para teaching, any type of administrative position, those are all posted on the LPS website, and pretty easy to apply. So share that on your LinkedIn page and your social media so we can get those positions filled. Speaking of professional development, we have a lot going on this summer. We have the QTEL Institute for 30 educators, and they're going to be attending to cultivate their tools, especially for students who are learning English. We have a bunch of staff members, 75, who are going to the Unbound Ed Standards Institute, again, on how to hit the power standards that kids need to know to do well in the content areas and on their state assessments. And then we have impact coaching for instructional coaches to help them give teachers feedback on how to help them grow. So we have a bunch of different things going on. We have, again, critical masses of staff members attending together so that they can work as a team on these things in the upcoming year. So we're excited about our ability to have our teachers attend professional development during the summer as well. Next slide, Dave. Summer programming, of course, we don't want anybody to not be able to take advantage of summer learning opportunities if they so desire. So our summer learning and extended school year programs are set to start on June 26th. They're going to run for 5 weeks, all the way through August 1st. We do have some buildings that are closed this summer. For example, the Arlington and here are going to be closed. So students whose neighborhood school is closed will receive transportation to another one of our buildings so that they can be in a temperature-controlled space. Like while the fire alarm system here is being worked on, the students here will be bused to a different location so that they will be able to take advantage of summer learning. And we have about 2,200 students who are going to participate in summer learning across the district. So it's a good number of students. So we're excited about that. And there's a couple pictures. Those were a couple pictures from last year. So we're going to have a fun summer as well. Next slide, Dave. Kind of going back to something that was referred to in the superintendent's evaluation, again, cultivating our BIPOC and culturally responsive staff. Our Latinos for Education Aspiring Latino Leadership Fellowship concluded recently. We had Catherine Almonte, we had Nellie, we had Angie's, we had Melendez, Maria Ortiz, Lynette, and Marianella, as well as Raquelma Vargas, who wasn't able to attend the final session. They attended the Latinos for Ed Aspiring Leaders Fellowship and had their last meeting at Harvard on May 3rd. Their final projects included family engagement, supporting students, staff, social emotional competencies, and strategies to support our students who are learning English. And again, this is part of our district commitment to workforce diversification and investment in folks who currently work for us. Next slide, Dave. Right here, about 2 months ago, was like right after our last board meeting in April, we had 59 parents and families graduate from the LPS Adult ESOL program. And these folks had attended class weekly since all the way back to September. And almost 60 folks participated, and they were all here. We listened to them talk about why they were learning English, some to help themselves get a different job, others to help their grandchildren with their homework. Very inspiring stories. 25 of them moved up to English level 3, 27 moved up to English level 2, and 7 are going to stay at level 1 and work on level 1 during the next session. So a lot of them, 25 of them moved up 2 levels of English, and they were not here every day doing this. So it was only a couple nights a week, so congratulations to all of them. Next slide. With Groundworks Lawrence and a few of our elected officials, the Bruce School celebrated Arbor Day. They planted several trees along the perimeter of the school that are out there. Look really, really nice. And also talking about, how plant life not just improves the ambiance and the look of the school, but also leads to more oxygen in the air and other science-related things. So great project, great collaboration with Groundworks Lawrence, our city councilors, and the Bruce School. Next slide, Dave. A bunch of updates for the arts. Recently, our student art and self-portrait exhibit was on display at Lawrence Heritage State Park. The exhibit was open for several weeks. Kids would do their artwork, and then they would also write a description of their artwork. For example, the first picture with the 2 young men standing there, where the student wrote about that's him and his best friend, and they like to climb a hill together, and the little route that they climb is in the background. So they not only had to work on their art skills, but they were also using literacy at the same time, being able to write and explain what their artwork was about. And Lawrence Heritage State Park has been a great partner to our Performing and Fine Arts Department, Visual Arts Department, as they have allowed us to have our exhibit there for several years in a row, so we thank them. Part 2 with the theater. The Tarzan production was a big hit. Recently at the high school this week, they won a bunch of awards from the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild, including the best overall production of any high school production in the Commonwealth. So congratulations to all of them. It was really, really wonderful. They already have things planned for next year. You can see their posters for their productions next year up already in the buildings and on social media. So mark that on your calendars for when the summer and the fall performances will be. Next slide, Dave. Performance arts, visual and performing arts students recently performed outside of City Hall. In between, us, City Hall, and the far side, they did a kind of like a flash mob. They just showed up and did a great presentation. We worked, again, with Martha Velez and the folks over at City Hall to be able to put this on. And then recently, last week, LHS right down the street, we hosted the district dance performance showcasing kids from the Partham, Oliver, Gilmet, and also Lawrence High School, and they put on a terrific show. Unified Games occurred about 3 weeks ago in conjunction with our partners at New Balance and the Massachusetts Special Olympics. 2 site locations, one right here and the other one at the high school. We had students ranging from kindergarten through our post-grad program at the high school, where they had opportunities to compete, play games, and have a lot of fun. We appreciate Chief Bonilla coming down and carrying the torch with our friends Aiden and Alexis and a bunch of other folks from the post-grad program at Lawrence High School. Again, New Balance with Lancer, ton of volunteers from New Balance, so we appreciate them. Again, a lot of fun. When the weather held out, it ended up being a nice day. We were concerned about a little rain, but it ended up being a really great day. So thanks to New Balance, and thank you very much to Special Olympics. And recently, the elementary middle schools have been wrapping up the year with their spring family and community celebrations. We were over at the Lawrence Family Public Academy for Young Authors Night. We bumped into Paula Martinez from the class of 2018. I was excited to talk to her. She came straight from work. She was there with her younger sister, who's in kindergarten and will be a graduate in the class of 2036. And her younger sister in kindergarten showed me her book and what she had written about. Just a terrific night. Again, celebrating literacy on the really young folks, the 6-year-olds, being able to show off their books and talk about why they wrote what they wrote about was really impressive. Tarbox Block Party was a lot of fun too. Live music, a selfie station, and kids were drumming with their teacher, putting on a great show for all the parents and the rest of us who were there. Spring athletics, a ton of things going on with athletics. Our friend Jerome Carrasquillo recently graduated. In the first picture there, receiving the Clegg Medal from Mr. Caraballo and Dr. Reynoso. Clegg Medal is awarded every year for a Lancer who demonstrates honesty and sportsmanship while representing Lawrence High School in athletics. I was able to get over to the tennis program with my racket. My knees don't work as well right now, but I can still swing a racket pretty good. So I took a picture with Mr. Bowers and a couple of the guys from the tennis team. Really a lot of spirit on that team. Great atmosphere. Obi Luciano, who's probably going to take over the world, was recently selected by Moynihan Lumber and the Eagle Tribune as one of the 2 student athletes of the year. He is going to be attending Yale University in the upcoming months. Terrific young man, terrific family, so congratulations to him, and he accepted his award with our supervisor of athletics, Mr. Nealon. We also took a picture over at softball senior night. Kids were celebrating, the young ladies were celebrating their achievements over the last 4 years in softball. And in spring intramurals for the middle school kids, we had over 650 students in the middle schools participating in volleyball and track and field over the last several weeks. So congratulations to them. Next slide, Dave. We were able to attend the military ball right down the street with the JROTC cadets and their staff, and we wish all of them well in their next assignments. Eileen, Imani, and Nicole, who are graduating seniors, we're wishing them well. They were honored. And we also want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Howe, who's on the left there, for his work as the senior Army instructor at Lawrence High School since 2019. He's going to be moving on from Lawrence High School. He's going to take a position at a school in New Hampshire. Which is, I'm really happy for him. He's going to be closer to his home and everything, but a terrific guy. He's done a great job for our cadets, and we wish him well. And we also want to thank the American Legion, the older veterans, to come really recognizing our kids, awarding them all kinds of awards, both financial and also, visual medals for them. So it's great to have that connection with folks who have already served working with our young people. Acting Commissioner Johnson took time out of his schedule to visit Lawrence High School and talk to a bunch of our students on May 3rd. We got a picture of him there checking in with Angel and Jaden, and then on the top right, he's checking in with Devin, who sang the national anthem at graduation, has also played the lead in Tarzan. Devin was talking to him about going to the University of Hartford next year, and then the bottom, he's talking to David, our star first baseman from the baseball team, about his plans for Merrimack next year. So he discussed future plans with a bunch of students. Gear Up staff came to check in with him on FAFSA completion, on how our kids are doing in financial aid. And also Sergeant Carballo from the School Resource Officer Unit discussed school safety with him and our redesign of the campus entrance for next year and rationale behind that. So we thank the Commissioner for coming and spending his time with us. Next slide. A couple weeks ago, I got a call from Dr. Ramos at the Weatherby School, and she's like, well, Santander Bank and Junior Achievement are coming over tomorrow. So I said, okay. So I went down the next morning, and usually I park on the street there, but I had to park 4 or 5 blocks away, and I'm like, what is going on? Why are all these cars parked on the street? And then I got inside, and I saw the 50 volunteers who had come from Santander Bank and Junior Achievement just to talk to our kids at the Weatherby about financial literacy, the budgets, the danger of credit cards, right? Spending plans, all these things. So it was wonderful to see all these folks from the area. We were able to talk to Angel, who's the regional director for Santander Bank. He talked about his youth in Newark, And he was talking to the kids about his experience growing up and the value of having people talk about financial literacy and planning for the future. So we appreciate Santander Bank and Junior Achievement, and great job by the Weatherby School in partnering with them. They partnered with them for some years now. Civics Day at the high school was a big hit as well. Thank you, Member Matias and the mayor for being there, talking to our kids. Various projects talking about health, safety, housing, transportation, educational policy. And the mayor signed 2 ordinances that had been proposed by LHS students. They had gone to ordinance committee, gone through the process, learned about local government, and been able to present their ideas successfully to the city council. And we appreciate the mayor for signing those ordinances. One of them related to kind of recycling and trash, and the other one related to traffic flows. So we appreciate everybody who was able to come down and talk to our students that day about their projects. Early college wrapped up for this year. We are glad to be able to see these young folks really excel and move on. We had ceremonies at Merrimack College and at Northern Essex. 76 Lancers were recognized over at Merrimack. 5 of them are going to continue at Merrimack as Pioneer Scholars with a full scholarship for the next 4 years. We had almost 100 Lancers over at Northern Essex. 56 of them are going to continue into the 5th year Promise program. The top picture there with Ms. Peralta and Ms. Siprich, and also Maya and Adriel and Naya, who were at the Merrimack program. And I don't know if you recognize Miliana and Jay Ashley, who emceed our opening of school ceremony, 2 All-Stars from the cheer squad, and Miliana was actually honored as Student Athlete of the Year as well. And then all the football players. Who says the football players can't do early college? All the linemen from the football team went to early college. Source of pride for their coaches that they excel on the field and off as well. So Calvin and JC and the rest of those guys. JC in the middle in white is going to Babson, and we've been joking that he's going to be doing our taxes in a couple of years. So I'm very happy for all of them. We had LPN and Scholarship Night run by the Alumni Association recently. We had 88 seniors and 74 juniors receive the LPN for high GPA and academic scholarship, which was followed by LHS Alumni Scholarship Night. The Alumni Association gave away over 100, or awarded, I shouldn't say gave away because the students have to earn it, right? So the Alumni Association awarded over $160,000 in scholarships to our kids. So congratulations to all of our kids there. We've got a good picture of a bunch of the juniors up on stage, and then a bunch of the seniors receiving their recognition as well. And Mr. Carballo and myself were able to take a picture with Juan Trinidad and his son Franklin. Great example of a wonderful parent and role model for his kids. His oldest son is at UMass Lowell as a sophomore. Franklin, who's in that picture with me and Victor, is a senior, also got the LPN that night and received a scholarship. And Mr. Trinidad and his son and his daughter, they all work at Butcher Boy. So they all work together. You go in there, you can see Franklin works the register, and Mr. Trinidad will be behind the butcher counter if you want to get a steak. Just a wonderful example of a hardworking family, and how hard work pays off for our families. Castleton hosted us for the prom again. If you've never been to Castleton for an event, I would suggest checking it out because it's really a wonderful place. Nice little body of water and a great big function hall. We had, I think, 350 students who attended the prom. We had Jay-Zius, and then on the top right, all the fellows from the track team, all dressed up, and then the bottom picture, Aiden and Lewis took a picture with us. Great weather, and all the students looked very sharp. Of course, graduation, we had almost 700 graduates. So happy for all of them. Over 100 received the seal of biliteracy for proficiency in another language in addition to English. Most of those were Spanish, but we did give some seals in some other languages as well. Our facility staff did a great job. We lucked out, no weather issues, so we had perfect weather outside. Great to be able to be up there with Anthony, Angel, and Nikki, who are the student speakers. The bottom picture with myself is 2 of my former students, Shirley and Shacey, who were in my geometry class a couple years ago, who would help me out passing out Chromebooks and taking attendance for me as we got classes going. So glad to be able to see them and take a happy picture with them. And as this young lady put on her cap, the adventure is out there, and we know that our graduates are going to find that adventure and have success during the adventure. So we wish them all well. It was a great night. We had a bunch of adult learners recently graduate over at Northern Essex, and they're going to be working for us. They have been working for us while they're studying. This is the 6th year we've done the LWFI Para-Educator Program. Again, more of our commitment to recruiting and retaining bilingual, bicultural folks who are going to be able to work well with our kids. These folks over 9 months studied daily to be able to pass the Parapro exam, and then as well taking other classes to help them with adolescent development and things like that. Took an intro to teaching course. They're all going to be working in different schools in the district next year in para-educator roles. So all those folks are going to do a great job. They worked really hard this year. They've been in the classroom this year, and they're going to continue next year. Our middle school promotion ceremonies have been this week. I was just at the Oliver School a few hours ago, actually, for their ceremony. You know, some of the schools have traditional ceremonies. Others, like the Arlington, have like a block party. Kids show up when they want to with their families, and they take a picture. They have something to eat, and they move on. Many happy faces across the district. Great job by all of our middle schools in their final assemblies for 8th grade. Last night, we were able to celebrate our adult learners from the Adult Learning Center. They had their graduation last night at the Performing Arts Center. 43 students earned their high school, 43 adults earned their high school equivalency. We had one student who passed the final M class for their diploma, and we had 43 other adults get their U.S. citizenship. So really, really happy night, tremendous recognition of hard work by the teachers and also by these adult learners. So good for them. And just some final thoughts as we wrap up. So out of the 5 people you see in that picture, 4 of them born in Lawrence. I was the only one who was not born in Lawrence. On the left, I was attending my 22-year-old's graduation at UMass Lowell. So, you know, multiple hundred kids. And they're putting the kids' pictures up on the big screen. And kind of going back to what the mayor said about, you know, making connections with students and developing relationships. All of a sudden, my daughter starts elbowing me. She's like, look, it's Jenica. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, look at the big screen. So she saw Jenica on the big screen, and she recognized Jenica because Jenica used to work at all the athletic games, keeping score, you know, helping people come in and out, you know, collecting tickets, things like that. And, of course, she would always have something nice to say to my daughter, and my daughter would try to sit with her sometimes and talk to her. So she said, we have to find her outside. So she dragged me around outside while Liam and Luke were with their mom, and we finally found Jenica, and we took a picture with her, and Jenica always had a nice thing to say to my daughter, of course. So it was great to see her, celebrate her. You know, she went to a different high school than my 22-year-old, but they both ended up at UMass Lowell. And, you know, I asked her, I'm like, well, how come you have this blue sash and Liam doesn't? She's like, well, my GPA was higher. So I went back to Liam. I'm like, Liam, you didn't have one of these scholar GPAs thing? And he's like, oh, leave me alone. I got my diploma. So again, just celebrating personal connections to folks. Jenica went to elementary and middle school right here at the South Lawrence East and Spark. And then she went to Abbott Lawrence, and we wish her well in the future. But it was great to see her there, and again, talking more about, you know, developing relationships with folks, and knowing you can count on them when you see them. So, and just a final thought before we turn it over to our exciting duo of Mr. Markins and Ms. Hernandez about facilities use rental. I think, you know, kind of talking about what we were talking about earlier. Lawrence has always been a great place. It's a great place now. It's going to be a great place in the future. You know, things might look different than they looked 80 years ago. The young man in the picture is one of my daughter's great-grandfathers. So he was born on Salem Street, and there's a picture of him in the top left, right in front of the yellow house on Salem Street where he was born. He went to Lawrence High School. He went to St. Pat's, which is now Lawrence Catholic Academy. He went to St. Pat's for elementary school, went to Lawrence High School. And you can see from the yearbook that we dug up last year. His nickname was Hype. He enjoyed sports. He enjoyed photography. He wanted to be a dentist. So although he graduated 80 years ago from Lawrence High School, I said probably a lot of kids who graduated Lawrence High School this year who liked photography, liked track, played football, maybe wanted to be a dentist. You know, a nice picture of him in their old snazzy uniforms with the stripes on their arms. Of course, you know, met challenges. He wasn't able to go to graduation. You know, he graduated in 1944, so he was inducted into the armed services, and he served in the Pacific Theater, so he didn't go to graduation, but thankfully he made it through the war, came back. So although, you know, last names might be a little bit different, you know, where you came from might be a little bit different, things are still the same, where kids want to be educated, they want to do things that they like to do, families want the best for their kids, and we have a lot of hardworking families, right? Just like my daughter's great-grandfather came from a hardworking family. Just showed back Mr. Trinidad working hard with his kids at the same place, getting great results. So we know that Lawrence is going to be great in the future. We're going to steal Abbott Lawrence's saying. They say keep running ALA and let's go Lancers. So we're going to say keep running LPS and let's go Lawrence. So a lot of great things coming up because of the hard work of the teachers, all the staff members, the families, folks in the community as yourselves. So we're looking forward to the future, and we know great things are going to keep happening in Lawrence as they always have. So that's it for the superintendent's update. Do we have any questions on the update? We'd be glad to take those before we have some things just about facilities use to make sure that we have a good process for that.
Any comments on the update? Edgar?
Nothing on my end.
All right, great. Just a quick presentation from Odonis and Chris just on facilities use, and then we will be able to wrap up the meeting. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Juan. Good evening, board members. Just briefly, you should have in your packet, we were here in April to present to you or to just make you aware that we were working. We had been working on updating our 13-year-old facilities rental use policy. We've made great strides since then. It's important to know that this board will remain as the reviewing authority for all of the rental requests that come through our department. We decided to, take a hard look at the policy based on the increased interest of the community following post-COVID, and also just to make sure that we have an updated policy that we can refer to. The policy it's a fixed document. It has been reviewed by our legal team to just make sure that it's aligned. That is aligned, and that we didn't add anything extra there that shouldn't be there. It is paired with terms and conditions that we'll be happy to share. It's just the terms and conditions is just an internal document that will guide the process, just to make sure that if there's any transition of staff, that there's a process in place that we can follow. There will be an updated rate sheet or cost, and that rate sheet is just going to be updated annually. That will be based on the reflection of any collective bargaining unit agreements that the district does with our unions. And it will have an updated or a slightly revised application form that we took a look with the committee. Again, you're here. Your vote tonight. It's on the policy. That has been slightly updated from the policy that we had from 2011. So I'll be happy to entertain or answer any questions.
Any questions about the policy?
Just a little bit further information. For the time, between 2011 and 2018, when the superintendent and the receiver were the same person, the school department kind of took over, vetting everything and making sure, folks had insurance or, we weren't using something at the same time. Someone requested to use any one of the facilities, which are, of course, public buildings. But at this point, as the board is now the receiver, we just did want to make sure that the board had input on this. Similar to, when folks want to use a park, they go to the city council, to the ordinance committee to make sure that they've, checked the schedule and they've done A, B, C, and D. We just want to make sure that the board is fully aware of when folks are requesting to use the building and, what the reason for them doing that is, and to make sure that they have insurance for liability purposes and things like that.
Thank you. If there aren't any further questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve the LPS policy for non-school use of facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. Thank you.
And that concludes our report, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next on the agenda is the approval of 6 sets of meeting minutes for previous meetings. I recommend that we take these minutes in a block. So to that end, I'll entertain a motion to vote on the LAE Board minutes for April 10th, 2024, May 8th, 2024, May 13th, 2024, May 17th, 2024, May 21st, 2024, the budget meeting, and May 21st, our regular meeting, 2024, to approve these minutes in a block vote.
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaft,
Yes.
Edgar De Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña, Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes, thank you. Our anticipated executive session will not be held this evening, and I just have one other announcement. As we look forward to the 2024-2025 school year, I'd like to remind the board members that our regularly scheduled monthly meetings will continue to be held on the second Wednesday of the month, so please mark your calendars. Before we adjourn, I would like to take a moment on this, the last week of the 2023-24 school year, to thank the entire Lawrence Public School staff for their dedication and hard work this school year, as you impacted 14,000 students. I wish you a very happy summer and a well-deserved rest. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn with the next anticipated LAE board meeting scheduled for September 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaft,
Yes.
Edgar De Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Juana Matias,
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. Thank you. We are adjourned.